Alright guys, Arknights Endfield. In today's video, we're going to go ahead and talk about this game. I spent a decent amount of hours on this game. I'm currently level 21, and we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, the gacha, you name it. We're pretty much going to talk about everything that I've experienced so far. Now, I'm not going to say that everything I'm saying is objective, like 100% facts. I mean, not even 100% facts, but just objective. And the reason why is because this is a live service game, so my opinion can change later on in the future. So I'm just gonna speak purely based off of how I feel. So whatever I say, if you disagree, feel free to disagree and let me know why you disagree in the comment section down below. At the end of the day, man, we're all playing these games for our own reasons. So without further ado, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure you guys click that post notification bell. I would really appreciate it. Let's hop right into it. All right, so the first thing we need to go ahead and talk about is optimization. How does the game perform? How is the game doing? Are a lot of people facing a lot of issues when it comes to optimizations, when it comes to gameplay, whatever? The engine that they're using for this game is Unity. So I'm not surprised that the optimization for this game is top notch. Like, not a lot of people are complaining about optimization. Like when you go on Twitter, Reddit, the Discord, all you see is people saying that the game is running really, really well. On mobile, I don't know because I don't really play on mobile. So you guys can go ahead and let me know how the game is running on mobile. But I streamed the game for like 4 hours straight yesterday and I had no issues, right? No issues, no crashes, none of that. I'll say I only had like 2 lag spikes, but everything else pretty solid. Like I've been, grinding like crazy and I had no crashes, no performance issues. The game is running perfectly fine. And it's actually crazy because when you look at this game, right? You wouldn't think that this game is running on Unity because the game looks so good. When you take a look at the character models, like their jawline, bro, it's actually insane. I didn't even know this guy had a robotic arm. Anyways, back to the main topic. So I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. The game definitely looks good. They definitely did a good job when it comes to optimization. And yeah, so when it comes to optimization, it's fine. The game is running really, really well. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the story. When it comes to the story, I will say, at first, right? At first, when I got into the game, I was like, yeah, I'm just not gonna give a damn about the story because when it comes to gacha game stories, it's the same shit every single time. Main character lost his memories, main characters from a different world, yada yada yada, right? It's just the same thing all over again. Now, the main character for this story, he lost his memories, but he did some shit in the past that he can't remember. And characters like the supervisor, I forgot her name, you guys know who I'm talking about, but the girl that's always with the main character, she knew what he did. So I will say that part is not really unique. I mean, you see in Wuwa, it's really nothing new, but I will give them credit when it comes to storytelling. The presentation so far is pretty solid. There's like this one scene where you're on a motorcycle with the supervisor and it looked like something you would see off of a movie. Like it's actually pretty good. So I like the storytelling. The story is decent so far. I'm not gonna say it's the best. I've seen better. When it comes to the story so far, it's nothing crazy, right? Definitely some cool moments, definitely some badass moments, but overall it's like it's not really catching my attention that much, right? I'm just really trying to understand the foundation when it comes to Arknights Endfield. I'm really trying to understand the world and how it works, how all these things works, like where these monsters come from. There's just a lot of shit going on, and that's exactly how it felt when I started Wuwa, right? Wuwa, there was like a bunch of information. It was like, holy shit. That's why I gave it when it comes to Wuwa's story, because they just loaded a bunch of information to your head and they just expect you to understand what's going on. So I will say Arknights Infield story, decent, but when it comes to the storytelling, I like the storytelling. I think they did a great job with the storytelling. Definitely top tier. And I feel like the more we progress throughout the game, the more the game, the more updates we have, the better storytelling will be, the presentation. Now, when it comes to OG Arknights, I never played OG Arknights, but I do know when it comes to OG Arknights, it is a tower defense game. And one of the main things I'm liking about Arknights Endfield so far is that there's a lot of variety in this game. So for example, you have the whole factory system. A lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot, but a decent amount of people don't fuck with the factory system, which is understandable because it just comes down to preference. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people like spending too much time in the factory system. So, you know, it really just comes down to preference. But I will say though, when it comes to the factory system, it is a huge, right? Like a huge part of this game, and you can't just simply ignore it. Like you actually have to partake in the factory system in order for you to progress. We're going to talk about that later on in this video, but back to what I was saying. Variety, right? You got the factory system. You also have a tower defense system, right? Tower defense gameplay. So I'm currently in like this little village over here, this temporary shelter. If you went through the story, you would pretty much unlock this area. But we have like this little outpost, this shelter, and they're pretty much going to deploy some enemies that are gonna come attack you. I'm gonna show you guys some footage. They're gonna deploy some enemies that are gonna come. They're gonna try to, you know, attack the village. But of course, you can place down some gun towers, you know, some uh bomb towers, grenade towers, or whatever, so you can defend the village. I like that. And they actually added depth into it because when we come over here, we have regional development, you know, outpost management. Like there's a lot of stuff going on here, right? You can trade. Like it's pretty cool. I like this. It's actually very, very cool. So when it comes to variety and depth, I will give them credit that they definitely, you know, they popped off when it comes to um you know, the variety in terms of gameplay when it comes to Arknights Endfield. You got tower defense, you got factories, you know, it's just a lot of stuff going on, which can pretty much bring in a lot of people to check out this game. Most of the time when you're progressing through these gacha games in the honeymoon phase, you're only progressing just so that you can, you know, unlock more rewards, unlock events, you know, and of course unlock new systems. But I feel like Arknights Endfield, they took it to a whole new level where it's like when you progress through the story, you're unlocking this tower defense mode. You got this outpost, you know, trading and all this crazy shit. It's like, oh damn, like I didn't expect this game to go that hard when it comes to, you know, it's like its gameplay systems. Like they're going all in, you know what I'm saying? So I like that. You know, more variety equals more people, right? Different types of players who are going to be interested in this game. So overall, even though you don't like the factory system, even though you don't like the tower defense mode where you have to defend outposts, defend this village, it's still there for people who are interested. And I think that's good overall. Now, going back to the factory system, I'm just gonna say this right now. The factory system, it's tedious. It is. It's tedious. Me personally, I feel like it's tedious because it pretty much gets in the way when you're trying to progress through the game. Like I understand that you know, they're pretty much trying to teach people how to get used to the factory system so that when you need materials, you pretty much know how to do it. But whenever I'm trying to progress through the story, or let's say I need something to like make my character stronger, I have to put in so much time just to get that one material, that one resource to make my character stronger, right? So I will say like I'm not like I don't hate it, right? I don't hate it because if you put an effort to actually understand what's going on with the factory system, it will be rewarding in a way because they did say in the live stream that they're going to, you know, make some adjustments over time, you know, update the factory system, you know, add some more stuff in the future. So yeah, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? They can add more depth to this. But I'm gonna be real with you guys, man. Nigga, there's already enough depth, bro. We already have enough depth. This is the fucking limit, my guy. This is the limit. Look how many simulations we have. Lord have mercy. Yeah, there's like a lot of reading you have to do in order for you to really understand what's going on with the factory system. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna straight up copy off of somebody else's factory and just deploy that shit in my world. I think that's what I'm gonna do because it's a lot, guys. It is a lot. If I'm bored, maybe I'm gonna try to put in, you know, more effort to really figure out what's going on with the factory system so I can master it. But as up to right now, I'm just interested in like the gameplay and the exploration, and that's pretty much it. So you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to the factory system, it gets in the way a lot, and that can definitely bother a lot of people. Now, when it comes to the stamina system, so it's a gacha game. I'm not surprised the fact that there is a stamina system in this game, but I'm surprised that there isn't a reserved stamina system. As you guys can see, we only have this right over here, and of course you can use the sanity syrup to get some more energy, get some more stamina. But hopefully later on in the future they add a reserve stamina system, so that if you want to progress, or like let's say you're on vacation and you haven't touched the game for 3 days, well, when you come back, guess what? You got like 400 stamina left. I mean, you got 400 reserve stamina, and you can just start grinding. Hopefully they can add that later on in the future. Maybe it's in the game, I have no idea, but I'm just gonna assume that we don't have a reserve stamina system. Now, when it comes to the gameplay in Arknights Endfield, this is a video game, so gameplay matters. This game doesn't have swap slop gameplay. When we take a look at the games Arknights Endfield is competing with, which is Genshin Impact and WoWa, those games do have swap slop. Of course, WoWa has a little bit more depth because you have combos and a lot of things going on. Meanwhile, Genshin is just EQ swap. In Arknights Endfield, you're relying on character skills. You also have a thing called arts reactions, which is like elemental reactions, but different, right? It's like a different version of elemental reactions, which is pretty cool. And of course, you have like the counter mechanic, right? Whenever you see enemies with the red little glowing circle, use a skill to interrupt them. And of course, you have like the stagger bar, where like when you fully stagger the enemy, when they're staggered, you have like this animation, like this character pretty much has like a finisher, which is pretty cool. So I will say the gameplay, I like how they took a different approach. It's not your typical swap slop trash, but long term, people might get bored long term, right? So of course, later on in the future, in future updates, they're gonna have to add a little bit more depth into the gameplay. As of to right now, it's fine because we are in a honeymoon phase, but I guarantee you guys, probably in version 1.1, 1.2, people are gonna be like, this shit's fucking boring. It happens all the fucking time, right? Niggas be glazing the game day 1, day 2, day 3, week 1, week 2. 1 month later, it's a whole different topic, bro. They need to add more depth. The gameplay fucking sucks. It's gonna happen, guys. So yeah, so far decent, right? The gameplay, I like how they took a different approach, because if it was swap slop, I would have been disappointed, but it's not. However, I do expect them to add a little bit more depth in the future in order for people to be satisfied with the gameplay long term. Of course, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, fuck that. It has to be perfect. All right, striving for perfection is what we should all aim for. I'm not gonna compare this game to other games like fucking Where Winds Meet, top tier games. I'm just gonna compare this game to other games like WoWa and Genshin. I feel like that's like a fair comparison. But I will say the gameplay, I'll give it a solid 7.5 out of 10 or solid 6 out of 10. I think that's a pretty solid rating in my humble opinion. And let me know if you guys disagree in the comment section down below. And what rating would you guys give the gameplay for Arknights Endfield? All right, the moment you all have been waiting for, the gacha system. We're just gonna hop right into it. So I'm just gonna say this right now. If you don't have 120 pulls, don't even think about pulling for the character. And the reason why is because guaranteed does not carry over. Let's say you did 50 pulls, right? And you didn't trigger 50/50. I'm pretty sure that still carries over. So when the next character releases, the next banner comes, you're gonna have 50 pity. It's just that when you trigger that 50/50, you pretty much have guaranteed waiting for you. So you have no choice but to keep going so you can get that featured character. So yeah, the best advice I can give you guys is to just have 120 pulls minimum. I know it sounds crazy because 120 pulls in a gacha game, like holy shit, bro, that's not easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. Right now I have like 12,000 ore barrels, But let's be real, guys. This is the official release for Arknights Endfield. So, of course, they're going to have a lot of events where you're getting free pulls. But let's say we go in version 1.1, 1.2, or just future updates. I don't think they're going to have a lot of these events where they're giving you a fuck ton of pulls. So, yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. When it comes to the gacha, yeah, like a lot of people say it's better because, max pity is 120. But when you look deeper into it, there's a lot of stuff going on. You have a lot of FOMO elements like, oh, if you do 30 pulls, you get 10 free pulls and all that shit. And it's like, well, you're pretty much trying to like tell people to pull for a character, but they shouldn't do that if they don't have 120 pulls. So I don't like the FOMO elements. I don't like it because this is pretty much going to make people want to pull even more. And if they don't have 120 pulls, they're pretty much like ripping themselves apart. They're pretty much bricking their own account. So yeah, I don't like guarantee not carrying over a bunch of FOMO elements is just too much. And I also don't like this over here, where they pretty much give you this ticket for Levitain and it's expired in 15 days. So if you're not pulling for Levitain, you're pretty much throwing this shit in the trash. Like, this is going absolutely nowhere. Now, of course, like, I can do a single summon. This can carry over to the next banner. Sure, I'm gonna do that. But it's like, bro, I don't know, man. Like, why can't you guys just put this with like chartered headhunting permit? Like, why can't this just be a chartered headhunting permit instead of it being like a trial ticket where, hey, I gotta go ahead and force myself to pull on this banner? I don't know, man. It's just too much. Standard banner is the same old, 80 pulls. Once you reach 80 pity, you can pretty much get a guaranteed 6-star unit. And then we also have like this selector over here. Once you do like 300 pulls, you can select your the 6-star character of your choice. Now, when it comes to the weapon banner, all right, the Arsenal exchange. Now, the rates in the Arsenal exchange, the rates are good. I think it's like a 4% chance of you getting the weapon you want, right? A 4% chance, which is pretty high. But the main source of you getting Arsenal tickets is you pulling for characters. There are other ways for you to get the head hunting. So when I come over here to dailies, I think it's actually no, it's not dailies. When we check events over here, you pretty much have the weekly routine, and they pretty much give you 100 Arsenal tickets, I think, per week, right? So let's be real, guys. 100 Arsenal tickets per week that shit is bad, bro. 100 is actually bad. It would have been nice if they gave at least 500 or at least 1,000. I don't fucking know. I think 500 would be better, but 100 is crazy work, bro, because this refreshes weekly. All right, so you're pretty much getting 500 Arsenal tickets in 5 weeks. You're getting 500 in a month. And when we take a look at how many Arsenal tickets you need to pretty much pull for these weapons, 1,980, bro. That's how much you need. And of course, you have some weapons in here where there's no gacha. You just straight up get the weapon, right, by just using Arsenal tickets. But let's be real, guys. The best weapons, right, especially for the characters, the best in slot weapons, there's gacha. So yeah, I feel like when it comes to the whole Arsenal ticket thing, I think it's a weird approach. The fact that you got to pull for characters in order for you to get a lot of Arsenal tickets, and they give you a lot. They give you like 2,000 Arsenal tickets when you get a new unit, especially like a 6-star unit, or I think a 6-star character. You get like 2,000, which is crazy. So they give you a fuck ton when you pull in the gacha. They give you a lot. So that's another reason why I feel like the gacha is really weird, because once again, a lot of FOMO elements where, oh, if I'm trying to get this weapon, I gotta force myself to pull for a character I don't even want just so that I can get Arsenal tickets and pull for these weapons. It's weird. It's a weird approach. I feel like there could have been a better way for them to do this, right? They could have given us more Arsenal tickets. Maybe they give us a lot more like in-game content. I don't know, maybe. But so far, it's just the battle pass where you get Arsenal tickets. I don't think you get it for free. Yeah, you don't get it for free. You get it when you get the, I think, protocol pass. Yeah, you get it when you unlock the protocol pass. So I'm checking over here and I don't even see it at all. Yeah, so you get like 800 over here. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. It's, yeah, it's weird. It's definitely a weird approach. That's how I feel about the gacha system in Arknights Endfield. A weird approach, very convoluted. I understand it now, but it's definitely gonna be convoluted to a lot of people. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much how I feel about Arknights Endfield so far. This is it's a beautiful game, right? I'm still shocked the fact that this game is running on Unity. Like, it is actually crazy to me. Like, this is I didn't expect this at all. And I'm so used to hearing the same excuse over and over again that, oh, you know, this company, they can't do this and that because they're using Unity and all this bullshit. No, that's just an excuse for them to not improve, right? Arknights Infield is proof that the game's engine is not the reason why game can't improve, right? It's intentional. And if you guys are wondering which game I'm talking about, of course, it's Genshin Impact. So, yeah, if I were to give this game a rating right now, I'm gonna give this game a solid 7.5 out of 10. I feel like that's a very fair rating because there are some things that can definitely improve on, right? But the game just released, so we're pretty much just getting the foundation of this game. And I will say the foundation, it's promising in a way, you know, it has potential, right? It's not perfect, it has potential, and I'm willing to give them the chance to, you know, improve upon that foundation and, you know, add some more layers into this game. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you liking the game so far? Are you not liking the game, or do you don't know how to feel about the game? Let me know how you guys feel. But hope you guys enjoyed my review, my first impressions, and I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Adios.